This is Celebrate at 19 Hawthorne, the podcast, where we explore the creative process of planning your wedding. Hi, I'm Chad
From
19 Hawthorne,
and I'm April Spencer from Spencer Sugar Shop,
and we have made it through a whole season of wedding podcasts.
which is crazy. We adulted real good.
We survived wedding season, and we are still smiling.
And we like each other, so it worked out really well.
Yay. And instead of having a guest on this episode, we just decided to have me and April again and kind of rehash some things that we really liked, go over some themes that we kind of captured throughout the whole season.
Some nitty gritty.
That
Go into some nitty gritty.
Yeah, we're going to go down the rabbit hole. Hopefully we come back up and we're not like Alice, but
we
you never
started
know.
with 2 and we're ending with 2.
That's right.
Yeah.
Here we are.
With a little bit of Brody.
With a little bit of Brody.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
There's Brody. Yes. Behind the scenes, the voice of God.
So let's start it off. The biggest thing that we heard through this entire thing over and over and over again was you should trust your wedding vendors.
Trust.
If you have paid the money and you've done your research and you've gone off the venue's preferred vendors list and you can tell that they have great reviews, you need to trust them. You need to trust their vision, their expertise, their advice, because we do this. This is our job. This is what we do. This is our profession.
They are professionals.
Yeah.
And I think obviously like you'll pick up if you shouldn't trust them. And I think that does happen sometimes because people can be flaky. But I think in general, like if you're using the people that are on our list, like you got the best. You got the best of the best that this area offers.
Because these are the people that you have personally worked with on an average, at least once a month, twice a month, on a very regular basis. You've seen them doing their jobs. You've seen, so me not as a vendor, or me not as the venue. Like you have the cool aspect of you are here the entire time. You see everybody
My feet
work.
don't think it's cool.
I know. But you get to see all of us do our jobs, and you're not putting somebody on your vendors list that doesn't do their job right.
And if they give me a creepy or ick vibe, like, I'm not going to recommend them.
Because what happens if you have a vendor that shows up that colossally fails on something? Who usually has to fix that?
That would be me.
Right. So Chad doesn't want to fix
I don't want to be
people's
Mr. Fix It. I don't want to be Bob the Builder.
Right. So I think that's a really important thing. Like you essentially are the professional at the vendors, right? Like in a way to encompass all of that. Like you are the one that sees everybody from the second that they step in to the second that they leave, how they treat their couples and how professional they are and what they can do. And so you're you are the professional at how
Finding
the vendors are.
professionals,
Yeah.
I also think it's really important to realize like we are the first in the door.
Yeah.
And we are the last person to leave.
Yeah.
And we have to make sure that when you're here, like we want you to have a good experience. And that experience includes interacting with your vendors.
Yeah.
Because if your vendors do something wrong or forget something, like we're the ones that have to fix it quickly.
Yes.
We don't want to have to do that. And if you're not playing Mr. Fix It, you're having a better day. If you're not stressing out as a bride and groom and a couple of their parents,
Right.
you're going to have a way better wedding experience.
Right. So if you book the good ones, trust them. Let us
Correct.
show up and make your day super, super easy.
I think the second biggest thing
Yeah.
that people have talked about and I think that are conscious of constantly, whether we are in a good economy, a bad economy, is budget.
Dun, dun, dun.
There it is.
It's not an evil word. Budget is not a bad thing. And we need people to really understand that. Like,
And weddings are expensive.
Yeah.
Like everybody understands that. Every single one of your guests understands that. Your wedding party, you guys understand it. Your parents understand it. And the way that I approach it, because it can get overwhelming when everyone that's sitting in this chair is like, hire me because I'm great. And we're like, yes, hire them. They're great. You have to create what I call kind of a tier system. And the easiest way and the best way that that's ever been explained to me is get a Post-it note and write down all the potential wedding vendors that you want. Videographer, photographer, cake lady, dessert person, cotton candy person, sweets, whether that be
Hair,
cotton
makeup,
candy, hair,
all
makeup,
of it.
everything. And then think of it as a wedding cake coming from the cake person. You have to do it. You have to build your foundation. So
Right.
you need a wedding dress. You're going to feed your guest. Potentially you have to have a venue. Whether you spend money on that venue or whether it's provided, it's still something that you're going to have to put money into. If you do it in your
Right.
backyard, you're going to have to buy mulch. If you do it here,
You're gonna have to buy
you're
it,
going to have
yeah.
to pay for the venue. All those things are important. So that first tier is what has to happen.
Right. The people that the day can't either be remembered or function without.
Correct.
So how can we narrow that down for them? Because in this wedding industry.
Well, you don't want to come to your wedding naked.
Okay, so definitely a
I
dress.
mean, some people do.
So venue, dress,
Suits, tuxes.
suits and tuxes, because if you're gonna have a really nice photographer, you need a nice suit. Guys, don't scrimp on the suits. But
Food and drink
food and drink.
is kind of the most important. And then some form of entertainment. So obviously, either you're going to spend on a DJ, or if you're going to have your wedding somewhere else, some people might not want a DJ.
Yeah.
Most people do a DJ because that's obviously the most cost effective. But other
Right.
people do different forms of entertainment. They have a band or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have your second tier vendors.
Yeah.
People that you really want. And that is usually where the most important person in that second tier is photographer.
Yeah.
And also videographer. Those people that are the extra people, but you kind of have to have them because it's important.
Yeah.
And then there's the third tier of kind of the extra people. So
Right.
can we afford really cool desserts?
Yeah.
Do we want to have a violinist? Do we want to spend a whole bunch of money on a florist? Or, can we just have the person who's doing bouquets and bridesmaids bouquets? And,
Yeah.
those are the different tiers. And I think when you think about it like that, these are our must-haves. This builds the foundation of the wedding.
Right.
These are the people that
But
we gotta have.
The must-haves don't always have to be the most expensive either.
Correct. That's right.
That I think that's the bottom tier doesn't have to be the most expensive things. It's just the things that you deem the most necessary.
Yeah, you might get a
And yours is gonna
really
be
great
different.
deal on your wedding dress.
Yeah.
And that's great. Then you can spend money on something else.
Right. I think a big thing when it comes to everybody that we've talked to, and something that I think we've appreciated is that pretty much everybody that we've brought on here has price transparency. Either if it's not directly put on their website, mine is if you inquire, I check to see if I have the date first, but then before we speak,
They'll
I
send it to
instantly
you.
send you the brochure of everything.
great.
So you can look at it. And if you don't want to hit the phone consultation link on that after you look at the prices, that's fine. But I think that's such a cool thing of the price transparency when it comes to your budget. Now, obviously with florals, that's not as easy. Ashley and them can't just give you a price of everything. But I think it's important to remember you are allowed to go to your wedding vendors with a budget.
And ask for a quote.
Right. Try to be realistic. Try to be realistic about it. Butter's expensive. I can't necessarily give you we do have some options that are $1 a piece, but be a little bit realistic about what we're doing. If we're feeding 300 people dessert, it's not going to be $300. But you are totally allowed to come to us with a budget, but understand that our answers for your budget might not be what you want them to be. If you come to me with a $600 budget for 200 people, I can absolutely do that. That is no problem at all. But it might not be individual tarts that you wanted for everybody. It might be a cupcake or a macaron or, So there's things that the professionals can do to help stretch your budget as far as possible, but you kind of have to trust us with it.
Right. And I heard something so great the other day that really sunk in, and it was actually my grandpa who said it, and he said, even the dollar store isn't a dollar anymore.
Correct. Ouch. Yes.
They're just because they're saying they're this or they're that or
Right.
they're this doesn't mean that that's exactly what it is or exactly how much it's going to be.
Right.
Because everything ebbs and flows with everything that's happening. And I think it's important to know that like there are going to be some adjustments because you are booking out a year or two
Yeah.
in advance.
And I think something that we need to touch on about our people out here is for the fact that we don't really get to have a luxury wedding.
She makes it sound like we live in like Australia on the back 40. Our people
I
out
mean,
here.
we kind of do. Anyway, from going and doing weddings in Columbus and stuff, there are in places like that, there are tiers of wedding vendors.
Oh, yeah.
And like here, there's not really tiers. Like
We're
have
just
to
happy
be,
we finally have like a good person to do this or a
yeah,
good person to do
yeah,
that.
and I think that's important. Like I will absolutely come to 19 Hawthorne and do your wedding. I will absolutely come to the VFW and do your wedding. Like I don't care. Does the check clear?
That's what's important.
I think that's what's important. And I think that's something that, is really kind of cool about our wedding vendor, like little ecosystem around here is that it's definitely, we have to take care of all of the budgets and things that we can do.
I think the other biggest thing is the be present.
Mm-hmm.
We heard that time and time and time again with all of our different vendors and the people who experienced real weddings,
Yeah.
obviously in the rapid fire questions at the end that we did in every episode of take the time, be present. Don't occupy your brain with other things that day. Like
Yeah.
focus on being in the moment with your spouse, with your family, with your grandparents, just
Yeah.
be present.
Know that things are going to go wrong.
And that's okay.
It's okay.
That's
As
life.
long as the building is not on fire.
Thank
As long
God,
as
I hope not.
as long as people have a place to stay, either cool or dry.
That's why you keep your candles in votives or glass.
If you can stay cool or dry, you have good food. They can usually get a drink and they have some form of like fun entertainment. Everything else is pretty much going to come out in the wash.
Agreed.
Like as long as the experience for them is there, like take a breath.
And if you don't think that's going to happen naturally, it's okay to build those things in.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay in your timeline that you create with your photographer to be like, you know what? We want to take 20 minutes between this and that and just like go outside on a walk. Or we want to take 10 minutes and spend to sit down with our grandparents.
Yeah.
And just physically spend some time with grandma and grandpa because we don't get to see them a lot.
Yeah.
Like, that is okay to build those things into your timeline and those special moments and to, create a special time. And if you put that out there to begin with,
Yeah.
people won't be so uptight about it when it happens. Well, why aren't they doing this or why aren't they doing that? Well, that's because that's something that they have chosen to do and it's built into the timeline.
Right. And we can sneak you away for that. Like it doesn't have to be in front of everybody. Like, maybe grandma and grandpa and you guys go on a golf cart ride. Chad will take you out on the back 19 and you guys can see
Right.
like a really cool spot and maybe get some video that's like really special.
Something that I do think we're going to see, just because I think it is cool and it's probably potentially one of the last times that your grandparents are going to get all dressed up, you're going to be all dressed up, is like people will do little tiny mini photo shoots with their grandparents on their wedding day.
I think that's super cool.
I think it's so great because
Yeah.
like those are potentially the last photos, great photos that your grandparents are ever going to get and potentially the last photos that you may ever get with your grandparents.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's not a trend that's necessarily here yet, but
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of it out west.
Well, I think people are also learning that, I don't know how to say this exactly, but I feel like in your 20s, people used to not really think about things ending. And like, I think that's
generations
right. I think maybe that's something that maybe the little bit of, COVID that we had and things like that, like people are realizing that like, those special times are cherished. I think people are realizing that at a lot younger age than they used to.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing that we saw repeatedly is like the atmosphere and the vibe.
Yeah.
We talk about that a lot, especially at a venue, and we mentioned it several times in the podcast with DJ Terrence. Is like, what is the vibe of your wedding? And I think more than like a theme or a look, we're going to hear that more and more. Like,
Yeah.
what is the vibe? You know, do you want it to be super elegant? Do you want it to be super sophisticated? Do you want more relax and chill?
Do you just want to have a blast?
Do you just want to have fun with your friends? Like, is it very family oriented? Is it more, do you want something that's a little more stuffy and
Yeah.
sophisticated? Like, we're going to hear those words more and more, as opposed to, you know, I want this to feel like autumn. I
Yeah.
want this to feel like spring. Like, we're hearing more words as I want to hear, or I want to feel like this is timeless. I want this to be very elegant.
Yeah.
I would much rather have those words when I'm trying to plan your day as a creative than words
Right.
like, I want this to feel very winter. Okay, so you want snowflakes? Like,
Right.
I know what timeless means. I know what winter means. I would much rather create timeless than winter.
Yeah.
And I think when you use the right words when you're speaking to creatives, it's going to help them bring that vision to life.
Or showing us examples. Give me all the examples. Send me all the pictures. Let me know. I always tell brides when they trust me with their cake and they get to like do whatever they want. I still want you to send me 5 pictures of cakes that you like really love, but I also want you to send me 5 pictures of cakes that you really hate.
Correct.
That way, like, I know where we're actually going, you know, and like, you can tell me all the words, but my elegant and your elegant are different. My winter and your winter are different. So, like, some factual photos of like the pathway that we're going is a great idea.
And most of these vendors are visual learners. So if you give them visual cues,
Yeah.
they're going to pick up on things much faster.
So I wanted to go back. I just thought about it, and it is so true because I have been hearing about it. And I think when it comes to budget, I think the path that we're going to go on is I think we're going to see a lot more child-free weddings.
I do think that will happen.
And I think people need to be okay with it.
Yeah. It breaks my heart as a kid who loved weddings.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily know that we'll see child-free as much as like selective children.
Okay, that's legit. Like
I think
they come
nieces
for
and
the ceremony
nephews
and
will
then roll out.
potentially come.
Yeah.
I think like immediate family children will come. I just don't know that we will continue to see like everybody bring every kid.
Yeah.
At least that's a vibe that I'm picking up on. I love when there's a ton of kids here.
Yeah.
I love when the building is full. But I definitely think we're going to see that more and more
Yeah.
as time progresses.
Because that's somewhere, I mean, you still have to feed them. They're still counted as a head count. They're still counted as a seat. You know, I have 3 girls. I understand that it's a bit of a bummer if they can't come to something like that. But I do think that mainly if somebody is requesting that you need to respect it.
Agreed. And not be mad about it.
Yeah.
I think so many people hear like child-free wedding and then they automatically get mad if they have kids. And sometimes it's because like they're potentially putting the safety of your kid into the mix. Like
Yeah.
I know I have an experience coming up where, you know, they're getting married on the side of a cliff. And it's great for adults because the setting is beautiful, but like they were nervous about just little kids like being on the side of the cliff.
Yeah.
So it's not that they didn't want the kids there. It's just they didn't feel safe having kids there.
Well, I think it's funny because when people talk to me about it, they're like, oh, well, I mean, for desserts, like 20 of them are kids, so they're going to need less. I'm like, no, actually those
They're
20,
gonna need more.
You're going to need to double those because they're going to be double fisted. Like they're going to roll out.
And
it's just factual.
I think kids at a wedding are fine, but like kids' attention spans is shorter than an adult's. So like it's okay to have activities for kids, whether
Yeah.
that's a little bag with some, you know, coloring sheets in it or some activities out in the yard.
Right.
Or like I always think it's great when like the boys, because the boys do it more than the girls, like they will find any ball that's in this building
Yeah.
and they're out playing, you know, toss football or kicking it
Right.
out in the field. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like let them burn off that energy. Then they're not running around like crazy wild men in here.
Right.
By all means, go out in the yard and play. I love it.
I love it.
But I do think we will see that. I think it's coming. It's I don't know that it's a trend as much as it's a change.
right.
in
It's
the
just
industry.
a change of what's going to come.
Another big thing that we saw is the teamwork aspect between your vendors, and then obviously like you are creating a team of artists. We mentioned it a lot in the makeup podcast that we filmed in the hair makeup episode. You know, these are artisans that you should trust.
Yeah.
You hired them because they are professional. You hired April because she makes kick butt sugar Creations.
Yeah.
You know, she is not just a baker.
Yeah.
Everyone is a baker. She is the baker, and she makes bomb sugar creations. And she's an artist, just like you want your photographer and your
Yeah.
videographer and, quite frankly, the people that cook your food. Like,
Yeah.
all of them are artists in their own little happy world that they live
Right.
in. And trust them, give them a little bit of freedom, and make sure that they play well in the sandbox together.
With everybody else. Yeah.
You want to hire a videographer that works well with the photographer that
Right.
you hired. You know, because in the priority standpoint of the circle of life, you know, the photographer is the lion, the videographer is the gazelle. So you want to make sure that
Are
the
you
lion,
guys getting eaten? Is that what's going on?
the,
Like, is that
the lion gets along with the gazelle. Like it is a dog eat dog world. And I
Yeah.
think, you know, you want people that then are going to make you comfortable, because
Yeah.
if they're not getting along, you're going to pick up on that, and then your stuff isn't going to be as good.
right?
You know, you want a DJ that will work with your caterer, whether they have to release tables or not. You want
Yeah.
all those people to get along. I have to work with everyone.
Right.
And I see when it isn't working or isn't jiving, because it usually comes to my attention very quickly.
Right, because somebody tells you about it for sure.
Celebrate everything at 19 Hawthorne Wedding and Event Venue. Centrally located in the heart of Northwest Ohio, 19 Hawthorne is the place to welcome family and friends as you celebrate life's most important moments. Our mission is to create sophisticated luxury in a timeless, natural setting. Our desire is to drive the creative spirit forward, creating an environment that guests will remember for years to come. When you and the people you love celebrate with us, together we establish unforgettable memories. Create the perfect day of joy and celebration. Learn more at 19hawthorne.com.
Now, something that we've talked about when it comes to budget is also timelines.
Oh, the timeline.
So he did bring up we were talking beforehand about, you know, we've literally told everybody that they need to book the best of the best. And we understand that that can be very overwhelming. And then also if you need a more budget friendly option, you know, that's kind of a scary aspect of it. So something about having a really good timeline when you start, like from when you get engaged to, don't wait 6 months or a year. Like get engaged, sit in it for a second, love it for a month or two, take a breath, enjoy it. But maybe if you need to have a budget, maybe you should start planning your wedding 2 years in advance. Maybe you should reach out to all of us 2 years in advance. I know almost all of us said that we took payment plans. You know, you can pay your deposit with me. And then if you want to set up an automatic payment with me for $50 a month over 2 years, I'm fine with that.
Right.
I know a lot of people are. I know you take payments. Like we have a finish payment and then a deadline payment. But you can make payments in between there the entire time. So if budget is something that's a concern, give yourself more time to help out with that. And then it also doesn't seem so stressful. Like, okay, we booked all of our vendors 2 years out. Now we know that each month we put this much towards each one of them. And then we can take a breath. Like it's not, and if you miss a payment in there, we don't care because it's not when the final payment is due yet. So like it gives you a lot more of a moment where you can just be like, you know, like that's a great way to help stretch your budget and like make it not all like, oh my God, I owe $40,000 all at once or $30,000 or even $5,000. That's a lot of money. So if we have a longer time to span it out, that's going to help you.
And then day of timeline, which is just as important as the pre-timeline and really the post-timeline. You know, sit down with your photographer, which I think is the most important, and figure out all the P's and Q's of like, the cake gets delivered this time. I have 8 hours with the photographer, so I need them from this time to this time. The videographer is here for 6 hours. Whatever be the case, if you have timeline restrictions on your vendor, and then slowly start to map that out. Because at the end, when you go to meet with all your vendors or do your final wrap-up calls or whatever, it's going to make life so much easier for everyone if that timeline is already developed.
Right.
And if it means that you make a note in your phone or in your journal or your binder or whatever, and you're constantly updating it,
Yeah.
great. Because then when you get to that final day of,
Right.
you can say, here's the timeline that I want. It's pretty much established. It has everything on it. I would rather have a 5-minute by 5-minute timeline that I get to keep and I slowly get to cross things off because it's never perfect.
Right.
It's never, something that's supposed to happen at 6:30 isn't necessarily always going to happen right at 6:30.
But if I have a
life
checklist
happens.
just to make sure that all the things that you want are
So
done,
much easier.
makes life
So much
And
easier.
everybody's on the same page then.
Yes.
Right.
And
So.
you'll get made fun of by your wedding party, and we're going to talk about wedding parties because they're going to be like, "Oh, did you see the itinerary? Look at that! Every 5 minutes is planned." Guess what? Sorry, buddy. Like I'm
This
trying
is your
to be
job.
organized.
This is your job for the day.
This is your job.
And I think bridal people in the bridal party
Let's talk about the wedding party.
need to realize that. It is a fun party. It is great. The party starts after dinner. Up until then, this is your job.
Yeah, you're my minion.
Your job is to be pleasant. Your job is to be helpful. Your job is to make the bride and groom happy. I'm not saying that they're allowed to boss you around and yell at you and make you feel horrible, but it is your job to hold your life together for a day. Hold it together. 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever it is, hold it together. This is your job for the day, and just make it be that.
Right.
That's a really big thing.
And it can be expensive. It can be expensive to get the dress, to get the tux, to get the hair, to get the makeup, to
Right.
get the gift, to all the things that it takes to be in a wedding party. But all in all, like, these are your friends.
Right.
These are people that you're potentially going to spend the rest of your life with. Like, make it special for their day.
Yeah.
And you hope in return that they will then make
Do the
your
same for
day
yours. Yeah.
special. And like, don't put more stress on them than is needed.
Right.
Don't stress them out. Don't bring things to the equation. Break rules about bringing in alcohol. Like, follow the rules. Like, just make it as easy as you possibly can for the bride and the groom. Like, that's
Right.
why they want you. They enjoy your company. They want to be surrounded
Right.
by you. Don't make your company unwelcomed company.
You don't like your bridesmaid's dress?
Sorry.
Too bad. You don't like your hair and makeup? Too bad. It's not your day.
Right.
It's not your day. Like,
And that's
let it be it.
That's a hard cultural shift because it is very selfless, and that is not where culture is today in America. And it is kind of an old-fashioned thing where, like, you are paying homage to that person that day.
Right.
We don't do that well.
Right.
And we need to do it a little better.
I totally agree. I think it comes into that whole aspect of all of it. But another thing that I wanted to touch on when it kind
Or
of
don't
comes,
have a wedding party. If they ask you to be in it, you can say no. You don't have to say yes.
I didn't have a wedding party. It was
Yeah.
just me and Matt up there, and I loved it because I didn't have to babysit anybody.
If you're a bad bridesmaid,
don't be
when
one.
they ask you,
Yeah.
say no. Say,
Like, yeah.
sorry, can't do it.
Well, and I also
I would rather
think
just be a guest.
it's also expensive to be in the bridal party. Like,
So
let's
if you
just be
can't afford
honest.
it,
Yeah.
also just be upfront with them. They would rather you be honest and
Right.
just have you come as a guest and be there and be present than stressed out because you had to pay money for things you didn't have.
But flip the script too. Bridal couples, I think you also need to respect that then as well.
Correct.
Like if you ask somebody to be there and they're like, "Hey, I can't spend $2,000 for a trip to Cancun," and then on top of it, in the dress and all of this stuff, like you need to appreciate that honesty from them, and that's okay. Like we're all at different journeys in our lives.
I would
like,
rather have an honest friend than
Yeah.
a friend that's going to make my life not fun because they weren't honest.
Right. And then something to touch back on when it comes to Thailand that's really important. And I know that we talk about it. I talk about it in my phone calls. Your RSVPs. When should your RSVPs actually be coming in?
6 weeks before your wedding.
Not 4.
6.
Not 4.
Have your due date 6 because guess what? You're not going to get your final answer until 4.
Well, you're also going to have to headhunt. You're going to
Yep.
have to headhunt people. Give yourself those 2 weeks. I just talked to a bride the other week. It was her 1 month. They still had 60 RSVPs missing. 60.
Yeah.
Half their wedding. And I was like, that's okay. I can give you a couple more days. That's totally fine. But like, then she has to spend the next 2 days when she's not at work, literally hunting people down. Like,
I also think as budgets gets tighter and things like that's going to become even more apparent. But there's a saying that I've been told in wedding worlds and event world uses, and it's prior proper planning prevents piss poor performance. And if you plan properly,
Yeah.
your day should go smooth. If you give enough time for things,
Yeah.
if you set dates
Yeah.
way in advance, if you set timelines way in advance, if you plan properly, and not everybody's a planner, we know that.
Right.
Then if you're not a planner, hire a planner. Make
Yeah.
that a priority. If you don't like to plan things, hire a good planner.
Yeah.
But proper planning prevents a lot of unnecessary stress.
Yeah, it's the stress part. It's the stress part for you. Like it's not stressful for anybody. Like clearly they don't care about getting you their RSVP on time. Like clearly that's not the forefront at their brains.
Yeah.
And that comes back to be stressful on the couple, not anybody else.
It makes me sad when brides and grooms say, like when they get to the
At
day.
your BEO?
At the BEO
Yeah.
or the day of, when I'm like, how are you feeling? You know, do you just want it to be over? And if they say yes, like I'm a little worried about them going in. And I normally ask them that question.
Right.
Because you know that there's probably going to be a little more stress. Where if they're like, no, like this has been
okay.
great. This has been
Yeah.
fun. Like, yeah, I have a little stress about this, but we're going to get it figured out because we have enough time.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you want to be. You don't want to come into your wedding day being like, I'm exhausted and I want this to be over.
Yeah.
I never want to hot glue another coffee filter to a background ever again. Like, that's not where you want to be. You want it to be fun.
Right. You want it to be fun. You
And
want to be
if
present.
it's stressing you out, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be like, oh, she didn't have koozies. Or, oh my
Right.
gosh, he didn't get us all matching socks.
Well, I do think that that's a
forget about
lot of the budget thing as well. A lot of those little knick-knacky things are going. Like I've never been to a wedding that didn't give a thank you that I was like, ugh, how rude of them. I mean, no, dude, you just got fed. You got dessert. You got a drink. Like everybody's happy. Nobody's gonna be upset that there's not that bag of M&Ms on the table or the koozie or things like that. So, you know, in the scheme of budgets and trying to figure all that stuff out, like make sure the things that you honestly don't care about or people actually don't care about. Like think about all the weddings that you have been to. Ask your friends, like, what did you remember from those weddings? It's probably not the koozie, unless it had something like really, really funny on
Or
it.
you collect koozies.
Right, but like, you know, nobody's gonna be like, oh, it was that bag of M&Ms in the little, you know, little tie bag. That what is it a cute gesture? Yes. Is it a necessity? No. So you can figure out what the necessities are.
What, out of all the things, those are kind of the themes that we picked up.
Mm-hmm.
But what is one or two things that you've learned
Okay.
from all these episodes that you were like, huh, never knew. That's really cool.
Well, I'll be honest. The thing that I've enjoyed the most is like so many of us wedding vendors are friends. We call us each other frienders, right? But like you're my best friend, and so a lot of these people I work with on a constant basis. I don't know their backstories.
Yeah.
I didn't know how they came to be in this industry and what made them be there, and like the processes that they go through to make their art, because I know I have my own processes, but like learning theirs and it being so much alike and then also so much different is really cool. Like that was something that I didn't expect.
I love hearing about creative process
Yeah.
as an artist, but I've really enjoyed like listening and asking people about like how they get inspired.
Yeah.
What is their creative process? How do they get from, you know, the Pinterest board or the inspiration to the final product?
Yeah.
And we've picked up a lot on that. And I think we'll continue to do that in further episodes in the future.
Yeah.
But that's been really cool to
Yeah.
learn and see. And I think kind of a fun thing, because it goes back to the like, we are kind of the artisans
Yeah.
of today. They seem to, you know, go towards magnet to the wedding world.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see how an artist gets inspired.
Well, and so many people just straight up just love. Like we talk about that. We love. Like
Right.
and to hear our friends talk about how they also love. Like you're not in the wedding industry because it's fun.
I
It's
love
not.
love until it's a giant marquee out in the yard that I have to make the letters like stand up and it's literally the word love. That's when I hate the word love.
But I hate the word love. But it's so
I have
true.
the picture to prove it.
Like there's so much. Being a wedding vendor is a highly stressful job. It is a highly stressful job. The reason why we get to say that we're the best of it is because we do have the most stressful jobs. Like, we can't mess up somebody's big day.
Right.
That's a lot
We
to
have one
carry.
chance.
Right.
It's kind of like being a heart doctor, but we get paid a lot less. Like
And we technically can't kill anybody.
yeah.
So,
Well, we have one chance.
yeah, there's
You
one
get one
chance.
and you got to make it right, and you got to try to make it enjoyable, memorable, exciting, fun. All you got to check all the
I
boxes.
have to make every single one of my couples feel special, and like I care about them, and I do. But if I have 2 and 3 couples a weekend for a whole wedding season, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. So
I mean, I will be honest.
Yeah.
One, like, as you're coming up on your wedding, you're very fresh in
Mm-hmm.
my mind. But, like, once that's gone, it's like a filing cabinet in my
Yeah.
brain. And people will be like, do you remember the wedding? And I'm like,
So what I also think is really funny
No.
is, so I mainly talk to just the bride is
Correct.
usually who I contact. You, in general, have conversations with the couples. So it's hilarious.
and they go through a name change while we're, like, in the process. And usually they move potentially. It's
Right.
like, I got a lot of people to keep up with.
Well, so I think it's so funny because the wedding that you're referencing usually isn't under the name that I'm referencing. Because I'm referencing the bride, you're referencing what her new last name is going to be.
Yeah.
They're not the same things. And so normally we just have to go by date and location.
Yeah, our filing system is so much fun because we file before the wedding
Yeah.
with the bride's name.
Okay.
After the wedding, we file with the
The
groom's name.
So I
It's
can't.
crazy.
My brain could not handle that.
Yeah,
it
it's a
would
lot.
literally go on overdrive.
It's very different. Like all of our photos that we get are filed in the
Yeah.
groom's name. All of our pre-wedding stuff is filed in the bride's name.
It's crazy. So you get to work with all of us from beginning to end. Like you get to see more of that. So what is something that you learned from the vendors that like was surprising?
It's so hard to like pinpoint one thing. I think in general, something that I'm hearing more and learning more about that wasn't a thing 10 years, 5 years ago is the vibes.
Yeah.
Like the vibe of the wedding, the atmosphere. Before it was just you decorate, you have a wedding. Every wedding is exactly alike.
Yeah.
Like everybody plays the same music. Everybody does the same. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
All weddings are very much the same, but very different.
Yeah.
And there is a different vibe with the couple.
Yeah.
And the family, but like just the vibe that you're trying to create, those words that we were saying at the beginning of this, do you want it to be luxurious? Do you want sophistication?
Yeah.
Do you want laid back and fun?
Do you want a frat party?
Yeah, like
it's okay.
And we have a lot of those. So I think that is different.
Yeah.
And something more that people are talking about. And I love that because it helps me know like how to prepare myself and the vendors for the day.
Yeah, where are we steering you?
Yeah.
Like where's
Where's the ship being steered? Which iceberg are we running into today? Another thing that I have learned through all the vendors is just the fact that like they care.
Yeah.
Like we're not a group of people that are just there trying to make a buck. And there are a lot of wedding vendors out there that
Yeah.
do sometimes. But in general, if you hire a professional vendor who really is serious about what they're doing, like they really do care. Like
Right.
they want you to be happy because like, yes, you can give them a tip. Yes, you can pay them lots of money, but that like thank you or them,
reveal.
them seeing you
Yeah.
happy is really what feeds them.
Yeah. When a bride comes out of the dressing room, like if somehow it's magically been done at the right time where like everything's set up and she gets to come through, like my favorite Chad gets to see it too. And I love it. Like I'll stand back and like, I just love listening to the bridal party be like, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. Like, then I'm like, yeah. And
Like you can give me all the money in the world, and me and
Yeah.
April are a little weird in this account because we view money as a tool, and we view like kindness and compliments and thank yous more as a monetary than
Yeah.
most people. But like when I feel like I did a good job and I
Yeah.
make you happy, that is when I get paid.
Yeah.
That fills my bank. That makes me want to come back next
Right.
week. Like, yes, I just made a heck of a lot of money off you, and yes, we made some money off the bar,
Right.
and yes, you made money off the cake. But when I get that thank you note,
Yeah.
or when I get told thank you at the end of the night, like you guys made
Yeah.
tonight's experience
the mother-in-law
so
is
much
like,
better.
that
like,
was amazing.
This was
Thank
totally
you.
worth it.
Yeah.
I'm good.
It is.
I'm here for another week.
When I've stayed up till 2:00 in the morning on Friday night and then got back up at 5 or 6 in the morning because I have 3 weddings and like I deliver and I get to hear the oohs and the ahs and the father-in-law coming over and be like, "Can I steal one right now?" like that's the kind of thing that really is. And I do want to make note that like the people, you know, if they have a specific price, it's because they have to charge that.
Right.
So I understand that, and I think that's very important to respect. But I was also so impressed with all of the vendors that were like, let me help you make your budget work. Like, please come to me with a budget that you need to stay in. But then let me help you utilize that. Like florals, you know,
Like
decorations,
we can scale
meat.
back. I love how Jen talked about
Yeah.
scaling. Like we can do this
Right.
or we can do this. Either one is beautiful and pretty
Right.
and we will put our all in. I just need to know if you want this or this.
Right. And let us help you with the answers of we know what makes a statement in the room. Like we know we've been in these rooms before. There's some rooms, wedding venues that I walk into and I'm like, yeah, you can get away with a cutting cake. It's a small room. And there's other places where I'm like, but also with the cutting cake, I'm like, get a cake stand. Like get it up off the table. Like there's tricks of the trade that we know to like help out.
Well, and we do this every weekend. Just like you trust a semi driver on the road not to come over in your lane and hit you, like you need to trust your professionals that you're hiring
Right.
because we do this all the time.
Yeah.
We're not going to steer you down a path that is self-righteous and
Yeah.
we're just doing it for ourselves. Like we want it to be successful and we want you to be happy. Just
Right.
like we want the semi driver to keep us alive on the highway.
And I'm going to tell you, I have made wedding cakes that I don't like.
Right.
But it's,
Absolutely.
you know, Jen pointed in on that. It's not my wedding day.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it beautiful and to the absolute best of my ability, but that doesn't mean that that's my personal style. I'm still going to make it for you.
I love how she brought up like, is it kid ready?
Yes.
Is it good enough for her child? Is
Yeah.
she proud enough of it for her child?
Right.
And that's how I feel all the time. Like, is this good enough that was it my
Right.
wedding? Am I happy?
Right.
Or am I providing the best service that it's good enough for my brother or my mother or
Right.
whoever?
That doesn't mean I have to like how the end product turns out. That just means that I have to know that I did my best and like with my technique and all of that stuff that like I put in my best work.
Correct.
But here's the funny part. Brody's in back.
guys.
He's behind the
Brody's
camera.
he's our camera audio guy.
That's me.
Brody is not married yet.
Nope, not married, bro.
So
Yes, very single.
he
Looking for a lady.
and he also doesn't always work. Do you do wedding videography?
I mostly second shoot for Ethan when
Okay.
he needs a second person.
Okay.
I have done some weddings by myself, but not very many.
So you're not necessarily at a wedding every single weekend like the
No.
rest of us are. Okay.
No.
So we've interviewed 8 different vendors, not including us.
Correct.
What's something that really surprised you out of everybody?
That's a good question. First of all, thanks for having my disembodied voice.
The
on
floater.
the
The floater.
podcast. Woo! Yeah, that's a good question. I think I've been impressed by a lot of things. Like you guys mentioned how much everyone cares.
Yeah.
And just hearing them talk about like, this is what they're passionate about. This one thing that you're asking them to provide for your wedding is what they are most passionate about. Like
Yeah.
that is their business. That is their life. So that was cool to hear. That was probably not that I'm surprised that people like what they do.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit surprising. I guess you just assume it's work.
Yeah.
You know, for
Well,
some
and-
people.
and Brody's
they're
an
so passionate about
Art
it.
teacher, right, Brode?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
He's
am.
an art teacher.
I am an
Okay.
art teacher.
So he's raising future wedding vendors, which I love.
Absolutely.
And like,
Yes.
what is like seeing the teacher side of you? Like, what has that meant to you? Like like artist is so much about passion.
Absolutely.
Like, are you using things that you've learned on the podcast or heard and taking it back to your students?
Well, I do think that you're right that I am probably teaching some future wedding vendors.
Yeah.
A lot of very, very talented kids who are,
Yeah.
and I love teaching. I love showing them something and then them getting excited about it.
Yeah.
When they get excited about it, I get twice as excited about, obviously I'm always excited about art.
Right.
I'm an art teacher. I do art all the time. I do film stuff all the time. This video work, podcasts.
But when I see them get excited, that's where the magic is. And I think maybe that's where it links to like the wedding vendors. Like I was saying, they're very passionate about what they do, and I can kind of see these young minds turning into like passionate artists and going and doing those things as well. And even, April with cake decorating, I think that drawing and art skills and talent translate really well to cake decorating.
Yeah.
So maybe what I'll do is I'll have a cake decorating class.
Yeah.
real
Or a
thing.
project.
A cookie decorating class.
Yeah,
I
we'll
do
do
it
a
in my 6th
project.
grade art class for my kids at my kids' school. It's so much fun.
So much fun.
Maybe that's what I've taken away. I'm going to do a project where they decorate cookies and cakes.
Yes.
So
And April, you can come in and show
Absolutely.
them some pointers.
when you
Definitely.
find your significant other, Brody,
Yes.
what is one thing that you've learned from the podcast that you're going to go into be like, I did this podcast once with these crazy people.
So I'm gonna
and
tell
this is
you,
one
this is
thing I
what we
learned.
need.
Listen, I know you've been planning this since you were 7 years old, but I am an expert now, so I need you to
Right.
listen to me.
I've been here. I know the people.
No, I don't think that would go well.
He's smart.
Yeah. I already know a few things. No. I think just understanding why you have to do things so far in advance. I think I've always, I didn't grow up like dream planning my wedding.
Right.
I've spent very little time
Until these podcasts.
thinking
Until
about
these
my wedding
podcasts.
until now. But one thing that I've always wondered is kind of why do people wait so long? For me, I'm like, well, once I'm engaged, I kind of just want to, you know what I mean? Let's
Yeah.
get married. Let's get to it. But I think if you do want that day to be very special and you do want to have a memorable, good day, there's a reason that sometimes people put that a year out because there's so much work to do even before
Right.
you reach out to vendors, and they need to know, most of them 6 months in advance, sometimes more. There were some people we had on who asked for 8 months.
Yeah.
9 months. Ethan likes it when it's a year out.
Yeah.
So it started to make a little bit more sense to me. Like, okay, you should probably put some distance between that engagement and that wedding ceremony day. So that was a real takeaway for me
Yeah.
when that comes in the future.
Give yourself the time.
Well, thank you, Brody.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Thanks for
Thanks for letting me
making
speak.
the podcast come alive and bringing it to life.
He's actually
Brody
just
and
floating
Ethan,
above
everyone, round of
currently right now.
applause.
Yes.
We did
I feel
it.
like the invisible man.
Yes, and now we welcome your feedback.
Yeah.
If you have questions, let us know. We want to know what questions you guys
Right.
want us to ask the vendors. So feel free to comment, and we read all the things. Trust us, me and April read all of the things. And we want to know your guys' feedback. Do you like this? What do you want to see different? Do you like the rapid fire questions at the end?
Yeah.
Is there different ideas that you have? Are there different vendors that you
I'm
want
going
to
to
hear
be honest.
from?
We need to get better at our rapid fire questions. They're not very rapid fiery.
I mean, they're slow fire.
They're slow.
It's a slow burn. It's more of let's sit around the campfire. Fire.
Let's talk for another 10 minutes.
We're really bad at rapping. We're very Midwest goodbye.
Oh shoot.
Anyways,
We did it.
toodles.
We just
we're
came
gonna
back from
we're gonna
Vegas.
wrap it. We're not going to wrap this out like a Midwest goodbye. We're back. We're ready for another season. We just got back from Vegas.
Yeah.
We don't have a tan, but we were inside a lot. We didn't party too hardy. April did bring back some sparkles.
Uh-huh.
We're ready to go.
We're ready to go. So season 2, be ready.
Thanks for listening to Celebrate at 19 Hawthorne, the podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Join us next time.